Nano Demension, or NNDM, has been a stock in a company that has taken everyone for a ride recently. It has some crazy gains. It's seen some fantastic things happen over the last couple of weeks, and I am so interested. In today's video, we will be going over an analysis over NNDM. I'll be going over all of the different points that I've seen that are really attractive to me. I think this is an amazing company with a lot of potential, and I really wanted to bring it to the channel. A lot of you guys have recommended this to me. I actually didn't know about it until I heard about it from a few of my subscribers. So I do appreciate for you guys, introducing me to NNDM, because this is a fantastic company from the looks of it. If you guys are excited about this, if you're excited about another stock being brought to the channel that will do maybe some updates, some news, some articles, and all these different types of things on, you can definitely let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. If you do have any suggestions for future videos, anything you'd like to see, if you want my feedback, my input on anything, let me know down in the comment section below. I read every single comment and I will always reply there. But with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Let's get into NNDM and let's take a look at what this company is all about. Nano Demension is a company that was founded in 2012. They focused on the development of advanced 3D printed electronic systems. Nano Demension's unique products combine three advanced technologies of 3D inkjet, 3D software, and nano materials. So in a broad sense, they focus on printing out things that are like electronic. They'll focus on 3D printing electronic circuit layouts, antennas, capacitors, and a whole bunch of other complex and fancy electronic stuff. Now, what makes this company unique is the fact that not only is this a brand new field, this is something that hasn't really been explored too much. It's something that's pretty new to society, but no other company is pulling off 3D printing such complex designs that, NNDM is. And so that's super duper interesting. And we absolutely love innovative products on this channel. I constantly talk about things that are new that could change society, that could go with this technological evolution. And this is one of those companies that I can definitely see doing super well going into the future as technology does evolve. Now, with these analysis, you guys know that I do like to break them down into about 2 to 3 different categories. I don't talk about every single thing about a company, every single thing about a stock in one video. I do like to go a little bit in depth about each little piece. So in today's video, we will be going over the basic overview. I'll be going over the products that they do sell, and the different offers and services that they do offer that make them revenue. I'll also talk about some of their financials. I'll talk a little bit about how they plan on going into the future, what things have kind of set them back, what things going forward, and what catalysts that we know help them out going into 21 here, as we are expecting a big year from NNDM. So again, like I said, in the very first one, we will be going over their product. Now, their product is something that is very interesting. This is going to be their patented Dragonfly LDM. Now, according to them, this is the first and only precision system that can, create and accomplish these very complex designs. Now, going into the future, it will be very interesting to see how other companies do start to kind of make their own somewhat hybrids and other versions of this Dragonfly LDM. Now that there is one out there that can create these complex designs, I won't be surprised to see other companies start to put out their own. Of course, this is patented, so it will be interesting to see how they're going to be able to make, modified versions of this Dragonfly. But each one of these Dragonflies can sell for up to $300,000. And so that goes to show that this isn't for, your everyday guy. This isn't for your everyday person who's just sitting at home. This is going to be sold to people maybe in like space, defense, research, and all of these more technologically advanced, institutions and companies, etc. But again, it will be interesting to see how they are able to scale that. At $300,000, that is a significant amount of money. I feel like that may kind of put them into a very specific group that they are going to target, a certain demographic, because again, this isn't for someone like me. I can't just afford a $300,000 electronic device 3D printing machine, you know what I mean? And so it will be interesting to see how they do plan on scaling that out. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. Now, they also do offer services where they can sell their own ink for these Dragonfly LDMs to the people who they sell the Dragonflies to. Because that was one thing that I was a little bit worried about whenever I first started researching them. I was like, okay, well, they're selling these Dragonflies, but I feel like eventually they're going to have to do something that's going to bring in more consistent revenue, not something that is like, okay, here, I'm going to sell you this, it's gone, you have it, and then we'll never talk again. No, they have other services, especially with this ink, because, that'll keep a consistent customer. That'll keep consistent incoming revenue. So even if the Dragonfly might not be selling as much, they will still be selling that ink to those customers and having a more consistent source of income. Now, this ink is no normal ink. It makes the use of the machine multiple times easier and reduces the cost substantially from other ink sources. And I think that is very important, because if you're going to be selling this product to people, if you're going to be wanting these customers to come back to you, you want to make the use of that product as easy, as convenient, and as cost reductive as possible. And I think that this is an amazing, addition to their business model and their business plan. So again, that's a pretty basic breakdown of what all they do. If you do want me to go a little bit more in in depth about each product, what exactly it does, and the exact financials behind it, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I would like to cover a little bit more today, and so I'm not going to go too in depth about the Dragonfly and everything like that, but again, let me know if you'd like me to go more in depth in another video. I can definitely do that for you. So after you take a look at this model, you know, they have their Dragonfly LDM, which is their main product, and they also have their little smaller services selling the ink and everything. How are their numbers? Now, this is actually something that may be a little bit worrying to investors, especially investors who look at revenue and they try to, you know, basically predict where exactly the revenue is going to go. This could be the worrying part of NNDM. Now, it's something that doesn't necessarily worry me, but it is understandable if you know, get a little bit sketched out about this part. So in Q3 of 2020, their overall revenue was $430,000. Now, in comparison to last year, their revenue was $2.24 million in Q3. So that is a loss of a little bit, you know, right under $2 million. So as you can see, their revenue really is non-existent. Whenever you're talking about a company of this scale, that's not much revenue at all. Again, this is a company who really just hit the big market. This is some type of technology and software that's really starting to, you know, come into its form. It's starting to really come into modern day society. And so I do think that we'll be able to see it grow. But the reason that the overall revenue has fallen so much over the last year has of course been from Rona and the pandemic that's going on right now. The company did release a statement saying that this decline is due to the continuous delays in identified transactions of Dragonfly LDMs, which the company attributed to the impact of COVID-19. Now, this is super duper understandable because if you think about it in a sense that this Dragonfly LDM, this isn't just some small, thing about this big that you can just keep in your room. No, this is something that's going to be held in a laboratory. And the CEO of NNDM, he actually talked about this as well, is that this is something that needs to be in a laboratory with people, researchers, scientists, and people there. Whenever COVID went and shut everything down, that's not possible. People are at home, people aren't able to get out into the office, to the laboratories, and it shut down a lot of these big buildings. Well, whenever that happens, a lot of these companies, a lot of these research companies aren't going to be able to buy these because they don't have people to run them. And so that's a very clear reasoning as to why we've seen such a huge decline in revenue. But hopefully, as we do start to see vaccines come out, as we do start to see a lot of more control being over this whole situation, it will be interesting to see how many of these companies are really excited about getting their hands on this. It seems like they do have a load of open interest from a lot of research. I've seen they're targeting defense, they're targeting research, they're targeting space, they're targeting industrial companies, they're targeting a whole bunch of different fields that really could put this into use. And it will be exciting to see as stuff does start to reopen, which one of these fields, which one of these industries and companies really take advantage of their amazing product. Now, one good thing about their revenue that we have seen over the last couple months is that from last year, from Q3 to this year, Q2, it was a continuous decline. But from Q2 to Q3 this year, we did see a little bit of an increase. And I do believe with my, my expectations, my predictions based off what all we've heard over the last couple of weeks, it does seem as though that in the next Q4 one, the next Q4 update that we get, that it will be a little bit more of an increase. So it does seem that it's maybe bottomed out. Their revenue might have just hit rock bottom in Q2, which is honestly an understandable time, again, with the whole pandemic starting. So hopefully we are seeing a general and a gradual climb back up. It will be very exciting to keep our eyes on it and see exactly what is said from their update on Q4. Now, whenever you take a look at this overall industry, whenever you think, okay, even if you're like me, I didn't really know much about this industry at all until I started doing research earlier this week. What exactly what's the capabilities of this industry? Where all can they go? What's their growth potential? And what does the market say about this? Is this something that can be big? Is this going to be very niche-y? Is this going to be something that can really, not grow all that much? What exactly is it predicting? Well, if we do pull up the numbers, there's a report here saying that the overall additive manufacturing market, which is about the 3D printing market, is expected to surpass $22 billion by 2025. But specifically in 2025, the additive manufacturing for electronics is expected to surpass $1 billion. Now, they are specifically focusing on 3D printing these electronics. Like I said earlier, the capacitors, the circuits, the antennas, all these different things that are super duper complex. That overall additive manufacturing market is supposed to hit $1 billion by 2025. And I think that a company like this, who is at such a forefront, they're such a leader and a main operator in this industry, can really take a big piece of that. And so again, as the future does go on, as we start to get people back in labs, buildings, and everything, it will be super duper interesting to see how much of this overall market they can get their hands on before it does hit those billion-dollar numbers. So next up on here, we are going to go over some investments. We're going to talk about some people who have faith in this company that absolutely blew me away watching it all unfold this week. So it has actually been released that ARK Invest has made a pretty significant investment into this company. Now, whenever I say significant, I'm not talking like a couple million. I'm talking they've put in over $30 million this week alone. They've nearly doubled their overall investment into this company through ARKQ, and I'm so ecstatic about that. Cathie Wood and ARK Invest is an absolutely amazing set of ETFs. They have some amazing portfolios, pretty much set out around like electronics. The majority of them are going to be things of the future, in my opinion. I think technology, of course, is the future. And I'm very excited to see that they are putting so much money into NNDM this much. Earlier this week, they had about 4.7 million shares, and now they are adding another 3.5 million shares. That means that they are nearly doubling their investment. If you do go ahead and if you pull it up, you can see that as this stock dips, there has been an investment from them almost every single time. It seems like Cathie Wood and ARK Invest have been waiting every single time the stock dips. They're getting in, and picking up as much as they possibly can. I don't know about you guys, but as an investor and as someone who's going to be a potential investor in an NNDM, that gives me a lot of confidence. That gives me a lot of faith, because I'm like, wow, like, ARK Invest doesn't just invest into anyone. They really invest money into companies that they have a lot of faith in. Over about December 22nd, I would like to say, 21st, they actually did an interview where they talked about how innovative NNDM's products are, how amazing their change in management has been, and how amazing their leadership has been in the last couple weeks and months. And so that's very intriguing to see how that does, that little partnership does go ahead and, go along. Because whenever you think about the fact that this is a company who's solely based off of research, the more research and, science that they're able to do, the better they can make their products, the more products they can put out, and the more advanced they can become going into the future here. Well, whenever you have a company like ARK Invest who can invest $30 million in a week into your company and really fuel that investment, fuel that funding, fuel that research, I think that's an amazing combination. That's an amazing partnership, and I'm so excited to watch how this thing does unfold. But that is all we were going to be talking about today. There is so much more about this company that I'd like to talk about. If you guys do want to see it, let me know in the comment section below. I have no issue putting out another few videos on this maybe this week. So again, let me know down there. If you guys did like this little breakdown of the company where I kind of just talk about some things going on, I've never really been super statistical. I don't go number for number, but I like to talk broad things, kind of like themes and ideas and, the psychology behind why I may invest in the companies. If you guys do like that style, again, you can let me know by smashing that like button. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, we are posting one video every single day. I'm telling you guys, like, I want to be posting at least 5 or 6 times a week for the next few weeks here. Let's get this thing going. Let's go into 2021 with a boom, and I am so excited to walk into it with you guys. But with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.